Welcome back to another episode of Saving Grace. Today, we have got royalty. We've got Coleen Nolan on the pod.
I'm more excited than you, let me tell you.
Coleen.
Why did you not tell me it was like this look?
Look, do you know what? At least you stand out though.
No, but I wish I'd have worn pink.
I blend in.
Lovely and
I look
girly.
like a, what are they called? What's the ice cream called when it's
I tell you what I look like, squashy.
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 That's what I look like.
They're my favourite sweets though.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I knew.
you.
So I came. Coleen, we're going to go straight back to the beginning here.
Okay, oh God.
Early life.
Right.
Am I right in saying, were you 9 when you first started performing with the Nolans?
Well, I'll shock you here.
Tell me.
So me and my whole family used to sing, 10 of us, mum, dad, 8 kids.
That's a big family, by the way.
Irish.
Well.
Yeah, no Kelly. And I was actually 2 when I first went on stage.
My thing is, how do you know someone can sing at 2?
Well, apparently when I was born, before they even said, is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
Apparently what it was, I hope whatever it is, it can sing.
Whatever it is.
Because they could all sing at that point.
That's insane.
Yeah, no pressure. And so I could, apparently. And so, yeah, it was 2 years old and we used to travel all around England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and do like working men's clubs.
Yeah.
So from the age of 2, and then at 9, we got discovered doing a gig in Blackpool, where we lived.
Yeah.
By a big London management company who brought us down to London, but just wanted the girls at that point. So I was 9, and that was when I did my first TV series, when I was 9, The Cliff Richard Show.
That's crazy to think you were so young.
I know.
Because a lot of people I have on here, they find sort of fame later on. But have you ever had like a normal job, anything like that?
I did have a normal job once. I stopped working when my boys were younger. And when my second son, Jake, started school, and their dad, Shane, was away working, I thought, I've got to do something.
Yeah, I've got to do anything.
I literally, I'm not one of these women that will stay and clean the house all day and have a cooked meal ready for them when they come home.
God forbid, yeah, of course.
So I thought, I know, I'm going to, and I applied for my first ever proper job, went round everywhere, and I got a job at a place called GNC, which was like the equivalent of a Holland and Barrett type shop.
Okay.
And I worked in there for 9 months. And I put all my pay slips on my fridge because I was so proud of them, these little pink slips, because I'd never done a proper job. And I loved it for 9 months. What
would you say the highlight of your music career was?
There's so many highlights with me and my sisters. I think Japan. It was like a different level. In Japan, they went just crazy for us.
Really?
And we were number 1 in every chart that ever was over in Japan.
Yes, you should.
And we'd get off the plane and we'd have to have the army to escort us to hotels because there'd be thousands.
See, that's where I couldn't, because
it was a proper, like you see now with your, Justin Bieber and all that. It was that in Japan. And then we'd do all of that. We used to go over about twice a year for 8 weeks at a time. And then we'd come back to England and everyone...
If I walked off a plane and I had to have the army, it was incredible over there. So I think at the time I was 15. So at the time, and I've always been a bit of a homebody. So at the time, it's really, really, when I say hard work, I mean 22 hours a day. I suppose everyone else your age is living like a normal life.
Yeah, my friends were all going out clubbing, or they were just having boyfriends, and I never really had that, and I think I craved it a bit. And also the work was hard. It was 22-hour days. We never had a day off. We did a tour over there where we did like 28 shows in 26 days.
What?
And during the day, all the PR. But it worked. I mean, that was our most successful. So at the time, I don't think I appreciated it. I just remember thinking, I just want to go home. I'm tired.
Well, it's difficult.
Looking back now, I love it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, you always want to be like a pop star, whatever. You see these people and you think they're living the dream. But when it actually comes down to it, it's such hard work.
It's really, really hard. And also, you do miss out on every day. I craved normality.
What age did you get your first boyfriend then?
15.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I was the youngest. I think my mum and dad had given up by then.
That's fair enough.
Trying to be strict. They'd gone through 7 kids by then. They were like, oh, let her do what she wants. Yeah. So yeah, I was 15.
Love that.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing about touring with sisters? Were you fighting? Did you get on well?
No, do you know what? There was nothing hard about touring with sisters because you could have sometimes if you'd walked past our dressing room, you'd have thought, oh, they're going to split up.
Yeah.
we would be screaming at each other. But because you're sisters, 2 minutes later, 5 minutes later, it's all forgotten. You don't actually... it's like any sibling kind of rows. Well, you took my hairdryer. Well, no, I didn't. And, those type of things. Whereas if a band did that and said nasty things, they probably would split up or not speak to each other.
What was the age difference at that time when you were 15 between all of you and your sisters? Was there big age gaps?
So after me was Bernie, my sister that we lost. She was 5 years older than me. She was the next one. And then... Well, when I was born, my eldest sister Anne was 15, I think, when I was born.
Wow.
And my brother was 17. So they kind of brought me up.
So they're quite a lot older than you?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Ha ha. Because my siblings are like 50 and 40. So...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was an accident, obviously.
Oh, I think I was.
Best
you
one,
don't go in for the 8th one when you've got 70.
Oh,
so I was definitely
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, did you ever find it hard to connect with your sisters because they were older than you? Because sometimes I find it hard to connect with my siblings because we're just at different stages in our lives.
Well, that's a big... how old are you?
I'm 24. No, 25.
25. And your siblings are 40 and 50?
40 and 50.
Yeah, but that's proper parents, really.
I know, it's terrifying for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. My daughter's 23.
Is she?
Yeah, and my eldest boy's 35.
Wow.
I had him very young. So yeah, I can't imagine being Kira's sister.
Yeah.
Because I would always feel like her mom.
Yeah, that's fair
And I guess maybe my eldest sister, because she kind of brought me up, really, and my brother. So she probably always did see me more as a daughter, really. But no, I always had, I think, being the youngest as well, and there was all those ones in between, so it wasn't like a major, the gap was filled in when we got there.
Yeah. That's it. That's insane how many siblings you've got.
I know.
Christmas must be absolute chaos.
Absolute, my favourite time of year.
Is it?
Chaos, yeah. It's a bit different now. It's a bit different now because we've all got kids and our kids have got kids.
Oh, that's lovely though.
Yeah, but when we were younger, Christmases were always spent together.
Yeah.
When my mum, it was absolutely my favourite. My mum and dad, they didn't really have any money, but Christmases were always so special.
I often find, I speak to a lot of people and someone I know recently, they had a summer where they were really, really poor. But they were like, if you asked any of that family what their best summer was...
It was that summer.
It was that summer.
Well, those Christmases were my favourite Christmases.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise till I was very, very much older, probably with kids of my own. My mum, especially one Christmas, pawned her engagement and wedding rings so she could get presents for her.
Wow.
And we always got one present off Santa. So it was the main present.
The main dog, yeah.
And it was just so magical, and all the decorations were homemade.
That's nice.
But I look back now and I have nothing but amazing memories about that.
So, we're in the Nolans. When does that finish?
When did it finish? Probably for me, like I said, once I had I worked right up when I was pregnant with my second son, and I worked till he was about 2. Shane was about 5, I think, 6. And their dad, Shane, his career had really taken off by that stage.
Yeah.
And ours was just, we were doing really crappy gigs.
Yeah.
Very crappy. It got to the point where I was thinking, going on at 1 o'clock in the morning in some kind of disco. And, and it's like, and Shane actually said, look, if you want to stop, why don't you stop?
Yeah.
And I did. And so that's
so
when
you carried on after you had the children?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, God, I used to work right up until about 3 weeks before they were due. I'd be still dancing about on stage.
That is insane. You created the labour.
Yeah, you had to. So I gave up for a couple of years and then obviously my marriage fell apart. And that's how I ended up doing Loose Women.
Oh, is that how you ended up doing Loose Women? So how were you approached? Oh, you went on as a guest?
I went on as a guest because they'd done a documentary called Celebrity Heartbreak.
Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine?
That's one you want to be part of.
I was.
Yeah.
And so I did that. Me and Shane had split up by this stage. Although he appeared in it, which was hilarious. While I was filming, he walked in the kitchen. I went, well, you've ruined it now, haven't you? Because we always got on even through all that. And then for the promotion of the show, I got asked to go on Loose Women.
Yeah.
And I went on in 1999.
That's when I was born. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I know. My bad.
I liked you up until that point. You're not coming back on. That's too young. And then, I got on well with them, like you did, really.
Yeah.
And then I was asked to be a guest presenter.
Yeah.
And then in 2020.
Oh, so
in
that
2000, that's when I started doing it.
Oh, so it was quick then, quite quick.
Yes.
Only like a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it was the end of 1999. So I did like a guest, then I went on as a guest presenter, and then I started.
One thing I will say, thank God you were on the first time that I went.
I loved it.
I was absolutely
You were really
shaking
nervous.
in my bit. Do you know what it is? It's the audience. Because
Yeah.
I know that audience has not a clue who I am. Fair.
Not just the audience.
Just anyone.
No, when you first came on, I was like, I don't know if I know this girl.
Coleen.
And then, listen to this.
All right,
of
well,
all the
listen.
guests we've had on,
Yeah.
I have never had so many people message me.
Really?
My daughter, who doesn't even watch Loose Women, messaging me going, oh my God, I can't believe you've had her on. And then all her friends, she had an engagement party last weekend, and her friends who I haven't seen for a while, first thing they said to me, you had GK Barry on? Oh my God. And I said, I'm doing a podcast. It was like I was meeting the Queen.
I needed that.
But honestly, you're so popular.
It's with the younger generation, I think.
Yeah,
like
of course it is.
it's like,
You're massive.
I love that. Thank
You're absolutely massive.
But thank God you were, because I was sat next to you.
Thank God I liked you.
No, if you didn't like me, I'd have stormed off.
Oh, I would have pretended I did.
And you wouldn't have even chased me.
I would have pretended you didn't, then gone, don't have her on again, she's horrible. But I came off going, oh my God, she's fabulous. And I knew, I love your sense of humour. It's so like mine, you're quite sarcastic.
But I remember you said to me, you went, listen, the guest appearances are worse than being on the panel.
They are.
You were like, I was shaking in my boots when I did this.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, well, if Coleen was shaking.
But even over years when I've come on as a guest, if you're promoting something, you have to go on as a guest.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I get more nervous going on as a guest.
Still?
Yeah. I get nervous anyway, all the time. I've been doing it 24 years.
It's funny though, because even your career, like you were singing at such a young age, for you to still sort of get stage fright, it's funny to me because you've been doing it basically your whole life.
Yeah, well, I did my own tour this year, the beginning of this year.
Come on.
And I have never, ever, ever experienced stage fright like it.
What do you do then?
Terrified.
On that tour, what did you do before? Did you have any rituals? What did you do before you went out?
I just remember the opening night. I was standing in the wings. The band had just started to play the overture. And I remember turning to the tour manager and saying to him, I can't do this.
Really?
And he literally pushed me on. He went, it's too late.
Yes, you can.
But I'm still nervous at Loose. You know, when you go back before you come on.
Awful.
I still get nervous.
It's vicious.
I think nerves are a good thing. I think it shows you care.
Yeah. I think when I do my tours is my regime.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I sink 2 bottles of Prosecco.
Brilliantly professional, yeah.
At the time, I would have a vape.
Brilliantly professional.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then what I'd do is
before you've gone on, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
This is before I've even opened my mouth at any point of the show.
Before you got out of bed.
Before I'd even done any. Yeah, this was 8 a.m. And then what I'd do is I'd get dressed, get ready and think, fuck it, what's the worst that can happen? Go straight out. But I think the Prosecco does help. Definitely.
Yeah, but the danger with me with that, I mean, if I'm a terrible lightweight drinker. If I had 2 glasses of that, I wouldn't even know where the stage was.
Neither do I.
No.
Me 2 bottles in, you think I know where the stage is, Coleen? Yeah, I don't give a shit. Me with my tits out. I don't care. I don't care. It's the only way
Do you enjoy doing it though?
Love it. Do you know what's funny? I think you'd know, like, the thought of it is always so much worse.
Yeah.
It's the before you go on. Before you go on, you think, well, I'm probably about to vomit on this stage.
Yeah.
I'm going to die. As soon as you step out, You have the best time.
It's great because it turns in from nerves into adrenaline. Then.
Yeah.
And when you get a reaction from an audience, it's fantastic.
Oh, 100%. It's so good. Are you going to do another little tour again?
I hope so. There's talk about me doing it next year.
Please.
Next October.
Can I get front row?
No, you might be
I'll be
nervous.
back up.
No, because you'll be sarcastic.
I will. But you can't be sarcastic.
I'm going to get you up to sing then. Can you sing?
Do you know what? I used to think I could. I did
we'll prove
opera
it on
lessons.
The tour. Opera?
Yeah. And we wonder why I was bullied.
My mother was an opera singer.
Was she? Yeah. Sorry. But in my day and age, it wasn't that popular to be an opera singer.
No.
It turns out I actually can't sing at all.
Oh,
no.
Who told you that?
Everyone.
Oh, everyone.
I used to upload singing videos to Facebook.
Did you?
Back in the day.
Are they still on there?
No.
Oh.
I luckily deleted that for many different reasons.
Seen that.
Yeah, a lot of people would.
Did you ever think, I know you're meant to be interviewing me, but I'm so interested in your life.
Carry on.
Did you ever think this would happen?
No. But do you know what? When I was younger, like I said on Loose Women, I'm going to word it better this time, I genuinely was like, I'm going to be either a pussycat doll or a Saturday. I was so set on being a singer. I was like, I'm going to be famous as a singer. I couldn't sing, so I just gave all of it. I was like, whatever, I'll just probably work in a bank or something. And then it just kept I just fell into it. It was so, but I don't know.
During lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because again, during lockdown, I think was the prime time because everyone was on their phones.
Yes, exactly.
Even with social media, like who's that bloke Wick? Something Wick.
Pete Wick.
Well, who's the one that would
Pete
do
Wick.
the
I love Pete
exercises?
Wick. Joe
Wick. Wicks. If it wasn't for lockdown, he blew up in lockdown.
Massive.
He was big before, but
it made him.
Blew up in lockdown. I think it was obviously it was such an awful time, but it was also such a blessing for getting yourself out there because everyone was on their phone.
Yeah.
What did you do in lockdown?
I didn't do
what were you up to?
There was 7 of us in lockdown, so I had it was me, my 3 kids, and their 3 partners, and we all locked down together.
Oh Jesus!
And 1 million animals. Got loads of animals.
You got loads of, have you got any weird animals?
I've got 4 dogs, 6 cats, some ducks, some chickens, and some goats.
I'd say the goat's a bit weird. Not in a nasty way, but it is a bit. Not many people have goats.
I've just got 2 baby. I had 2, and now I've got another 3, and 2 of them are tiny babies.
I would love a goat.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Are they easy to look after?
Yeah, they are actually, but they poo like rabbits, constant poo. And it's like rabbit poo.
Oh, okay. Well, at least it's not like a Rottweiler
poo. It's constant, like you couldn't have them here.
Well, God forbid. No.
Well, it'd be wrong to have them here anyway. That's
I don't know. I think they'd quite enjoy the atmosphere. Yeah, of course.
I would have bought them if I'd have known.
That's amazing. What made you get goats and chickens?
I'm just animal crazy. I always was. So growing up, all I wanted to do, I wanted to be a vet when I was growing up. And then I realised actually animals don't like vets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
No animal goes, oh yeah, I'm going to the vet. So I thought, no, I want them to love me. Massively started horse riding when I was about 6 years old. Loved horses, always had dogs. And then I've just moved house so I could get a smaller house with more land. So I've been able to get, and I inherited the chicken and the...
My question to you.
Yes.
Are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
Dog.
No, Coleen. You've got 6 cats. You can't say that.
3 are feral.
Oh. What, as in like nasty?
Wild.
Oh, sorry.
Wild. I inherited them on this farm.
Oh.
So I just feed them twice a day and they hiss at me if I go anywhere near them, but they're very beautiful. And then I've got 3 of my own. No, I love cats, but well, I obviously love cats. I wouldn't have them, but I'm definitely more of a... I'm just more of a dog. I think cats are more... They love anyone that's feeding them, really.
A bit like me.
And like when I go in, the cats don't go mad, whereas the dogs go
crazy.
Mad.
Yeah.
And so it's probably a needy thing in me that I need that.
You need the reassurance.
And I think I've ended up getting more and more animals because my kids have all kind of moved away.
Is that a thing for you when your kids move out? Do you get like sad?
Oh, I never thought that empty nest... Is it empty nest? Yeah, empty nest syndrome was a thing.
Yeah.
Because when they were little, I was like counting the days.
Wait. Yeah,
literally. Oh my God, they're 5 now, not long. And I was thinking, it'd be great and you get your own life. Honest to God, it's the worst feeling I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah. Bereft.
Oh, that's like my mum.
Yeah, that is awful. You just don't know what to do with yourself. You feel like redundant in life.
Yeah.
Because remember as well, by the time mine left, I mean, I say left, Shane's only just moved out. He's 35. And Kira lives on an annex within the house. And Jake lives in London. But at one point Kira went travelling this year for like 6 months. So she went... And then Shane wasn't there, and Jake lives in London. And honestly, and remember, you're at an age then when you're going through the menopause.
Oh God,
so
yeah.
Literally, it's like nature and life going, you're done now. You die. Yeah. No need for you anymore. And I never thought it was a thing, and it was a real thing. And my son goes, "You've got all these animals as surrogate children." And at first I was like, "No, I haven't. It's because I love animals." And now I go, "Oh yeah, I have."
You having them all in the house.
Yeah. And as one is getting older, and I think, "Oh, that one might die. I better get another one."
Yeah,
just keep
better replace it.
And they're not dying. I just keep getting more.
That is the thing, though. When I moved out, my mum every week was like, "Do you need any cleaning at your house?" And I thought, actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do actually.
I'm not that mum.
No. Oh, really?
No. If anything, I need cleaning at my house. Can you pop round?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm never going to offer to do that.
I think you always need your mum, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned.
Yeah.
I can't do washing for shit.
I think girls especially.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, actually, no. Boys need their mums for all the practical things, the washing, the cleaning, and maybe a bit of cooking.
Aren't they?
Yeah. But girls, I think, just have... It's like a friendship almost thing.
Yeah. I think when you get old... Did you have how many girls you got? 2?
No, I've got 2 boys and a girl.
Just one girl?
Yeah.
When you're... what's her name?
Kira.
When Kira was in her teens, did you not get on with her? Or were you like a bit...
Well, because I imagine you were a little bitch.
I was a bitch. I was a nasty, vicious bitch. I was.
I'm feeling your mother's pain.
Yeah.
And I've only met you twice. But I'm thinking, I bet
radiates,
it was hard work.
Yeah, too right.
I have to say, I'm a bit showy offy here, I never went through the teen thing with Kira. But I tell you what it was, she was massively into horses like me.
Right, okay, yeah.
So she didn't want to go to the park and hang around and drink whatever was in the park or take whatever's in the park or go to nightclubs, because her whole life was she just wanted to be with horses.
You got off so lucky.
Yeah. I got her into horses, you see.
Because I didn't get on with my mum when I was a teen, but now I'm older.
Yeah.
Me and mum are like
I've heard that a lot.
But that's like, it's a thing.
It is a massive thing.
That's what's
And especially with girls again. Because girls grow up quicker.
Girls are vicious.
They mature quicker, I think.
Right. It's time for this agony aunt time. Girls, if you are following me on Insta, you will know that I am an official agony aunt now. I asked you to send in your intimate issues, dilemmas, and I will be giving my 2 cents on your situations. You guys sent me in so many, and as you know, it's important to talk about these things. So here we go. Now, I'm not doing this alone, as we have teamed up with our friends at Canna School to talk and normalise all things intimate care. A few of you wanted to stay anonymous, which is fine. So we're here to normalise the topic, so let's not get embarrassed and get talking, girls. Okay, let's look at these dilemmas. I had shampoo in my eyes and used fragrance dog shampoo down there instead of my usual wash because the bottle felt similar. That is wild. But what is even more wild is that it is so easily done. I've probably done it too. So you aren't alone, because fragrance soaps can lead to possible vulvar skin irritation. Okay, let's set the scene. We're back at school. Do you remember GCSEs? That's right, I'm talking pH scales. This is different to the rest of the body. The vulvar skin surface pH is around 6. For example, the skin around your forearms is pH 5. The pH is to help support your healthy flora, aka the healthy bacteria in your vagina. Some people choose to wash their vulva area using water or unscented products. Using normal soaps, shower gel, or overwashing your vagina could lead to pH imbalance. Dilemma 2, it's just irritated all the time. Look, we all get irritation in our intimate area from time to time or daily. I've not wanted to talk about it in the past, and it might not be something that I'm shouting about from the rooftops. It's important to remember that it can be super common. From the tight leggings we wear to the gym, to fruity shower gels, to even sanitary towels. Lots of different things can cause irritation. Go to the link on screen now to get some tips on how to tackle irritation. Next one, my vagina is irritated after sex. Flaps too. What shall I do? So we're talking 2 issues here. Your flaps are called vulvar skin, so let's go with that for now. I can't lie, it's a bit outside my knowledge, so this is what our friends at Canna School say. On the reason for irritation, the friction of skin could cause irritation, but also the material of the condom. In other words, the vulva itself is a sensitive, intimate area. Feels like some kind of condom betrayal, if you ask me. I absolutely loved hearing these dilemmas. Just want to say there is so many possible irritants of the intimate area. Tight and restrictive clothing, shower gels, overwashing, soaps, even tampons. It happens to all of us, so it's about time that we prepared ourselves with the Caniscool Soothing Cream Gel, with that instant cooling feeling on your intimate area. Like I said, girls, it's nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. Situations like these happen all the time.
Save 10% on Caniscool Intimate Care Soothing Cream Gel, 15 grams on Boots.com, using offer code Caniscool10 at checkout. Online only, subject to availability. See Boots.com for full terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Back to Loose Women.
Okay.
I want to know your highlight of the whole Loose Women.
Oh my God, out in 24 years.
No, you've got to pick one, and it can't be doing the show with me.
Well, it was never going to be that.
Well,
so don't worry.
I'll leave.
Don't stress. The highlight. Oh my God, I don't know. There's so. What, as in guests or?
It can be guests or like a moment that you've had, like a funny, really funny moment.
Been so many. I mean, they have dressed me up in everything.
When you like a Christmas tree or something?
I've been
recently.
a Christmas tree, a Christmas pudding, a crayon,
love a pud,
a reindeer. I've been a bunch of grapes.
Sorry, it's
Honestly,
not funny, but it is funny.
Piles.
Do you just
I literally.
do you just take it when they say you're going to be great?
They go, so we're going to dress you up in this today, and I go, okay.
That's how it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
They go around the room. They go, no, and I go, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'll do whatever.
So yeah, I'm the one that gets dressed up, but I enjoy it. You know, it's a laugh, and it's saves wondering what you're going to wear. You're going to be a bunch of grapes.
Yeah, because
so it's quite nice.
Yeah.
So we've had loads of funny moments, and guest-wise, oh my God, Will Smith, I loved.
Iconic.
Will Smith. Yeah.
And was he nice in person?
Oh my God, he was fabulous.
Thank
he was
God.
absolutely fabulous.
I wouldn't have coped if
Michael
he said he was
Douglas
an
was
arse.
fabulous. All
Who's
the
Michael
big
Douglas?
A-list. Oh, shut up.
Sorry, who's Michael Douglas? What was
my
he in?
God. Well, now you know how it felt when I was going.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, do you know what? That's
I
fair.
haven't got a clue.
Who is Michael Douglas, Molly?
Catherine Zeta-Jones. He's been in every film ever. He's a big Hollywood A-list star.
Text me a pic. Hold on. Pause. I need to know who this man is.
My kids do this. I go, oh my God. And they go, I don't know who that is, Mum.
I just don't know who that man is.
You might when you see him. He's been in so many films.
Michael Douglas?
Yeah.
Right.
Rihanna. We were Rihanna's first TV show.
We should have pulled that out the bag first.
Yeah.
How did you go to Michael Douglas first?
Because I didn't know Rihanna either.
Oh, no, you can't.
Like now, I would die. No one knew her at this point. She was just starting.
Sorry, I've no idea who that man is. He looks like one salt and vinegar crisp. He's gone.
Well, he is now.
Poor bloke.
He is now.
Oh, well, good for him. Right, so Rihanna.
Yeah, she came on Loose Women when she was just about to release or had just released Umbrella.
Oh, so early days.
It was her first one, I think. One of the first TV shows she sang live.
That's so iconic.
Yeah.
I love that.
And at the time, no one really knew. So no one, we were like, oh.
Do you get shell shocks by anyone?
Everyone. I don't, when I know them.
Yeah.
But you like you with Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have
Who's
brought
this
him
man?
with me today. And you'd have gone, have you brought your dad?
Is this your dad?
Yeah, exactly. No, yes. That's the Irish in me. Sorry, Gillian. Do I get shell shocked? Yes. I get really starstruck.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any downsides to doing Loose Women?
Yeah. The media.
Yeah. I was saying this to you before we went on. I said, I was so buzzing with my first appearance. I leave. All of the bastards are all over it. Nasty headlines. It's
Awful.
insane.
It's every day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every day, whatever you say, they probably haven't watched it. But
Yeah.
they've heard someone on X or some other social media platform comment. And then they just run with a story. And it's every day. And
Do you ever
sometimes
read
it
comments?
Gets me down. No, I used to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do. I like on my Instagram and that I'll read the comments, but I just delete
fine.
the crap ones now.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with
Does
them.
it ever
I just
bother
want
you?
nice people. It used to.
Yeah.
It used to really get to me because I'm not secure enough. And I'd pretend it didn't. But out of 99 fantastic comments, that one that was awful would be the one I couldn't sleep over.
Yeah, I go out of my way. Someone said when I went on Loose Women, my hair was yellow, so I've dyed it grey. I swear to God,
Sorry about
I thought that was you and your fake account. Sorry.
That's awkward.
It's because everyone has everything to say.
Oh my God, every day.
It is insane.
But I have to say, the sadness is that the majority of people are just lovely people.
Yeah.
But the odd asshole that says something that you shouldn't really care about, you wouldn't be human if you didn't. But it doesn't now. Now I try and answer them now. Like,
oh, no, you don't care.
Too right. I just can't be bothered.
At the end of the day, you're Coleen Nolan. Who are they?
Well, they might. I don't know.
They're not.
No.
And that's what you need to remember.
I just don't get it. It's not even that, I just don't. There's loads of people I watch on telly or people I've met who I haven't particularly liked. And I'll go home and say it to my family. Or while I'm watching telly, I'll go, oh, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
I can't stand them or whatever. I would not dream of commenting.
100%.
Or sending a direct message.
No.
Or saying it anywhere in public domain would I ever say it. Because that's just nasty.
It's just weird.
It's just weird.
It's very weird.
So that and the press are the... not always the press, they can be lovely, but with Loose Women, for some reason, it really upsets me because a lot of it is like women's magazines.
Yeah,
and
so they should, if anything.
They should be championing us. There's no other show that has the majority of the time, all women of every age.
Yeah.
We've got you on there now, so young, and then we have people like Gloria, who's, God bless her.
God bless her.
And Janet, 77, right across the board.
Janet, 77?
Yes.
Is she?
She looks fantastic.
Sorry, I didn't mean that reaction, but wow.
I know, she's amazing.
Wow.
But, right across the board, so you get everyone's opinion, which is great.
And it's also a woman's opinion.
Yes, and then you get all these kind of magazines trying to tear them down, And every time we say something, like you're very sarcastic like me, and I love that form of wit. Some people say it's the lowest form of wit.
Oh, my
I
dad
think it's
says
very
that.
intelligent,
I think it's great.
Actually.
Yeah.
But some people then they run with that as we're being nasty to each other. They don't do that with any male show.
No. And it's a joke.
To the people you wouldn't say it if it wasn't a joke.
No, yeah, 100%.
If you really meant what you said, you just wouldn't be on there.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, go on.
So, I've been doing it the whole time, but can I ask you a question? So, on Loose Women, it's been known to have heated debates, right? I'm sure you've been a part of some heated debates. Do you ever, when these heated debates get started, do you shit yourself a bit or do you just do it with chest? Because for me, if someone was starting on me on Loose Women, I'd probably cry and shit myself. So how do you go about...
Great telly.
Like, it would be great telly, actually, yeah.
I think we've had we've not agreed on topics, you know what I mean, whatever it may be. And so, but I think that's like healthy debate. But honestly, once that's finished, it never carries on.
Oh, really?
No, I've never walked off and thought, I'm not talking to her again, or I don't like her. It's like, that's your opinion, that's my opinion. Yeah. And then we go on to a next topic, which might be, man's pants.
And then you agree on that.
And then it's a laugh. And
it's like Houses of Parliament.
It's like with your mates. Surely with your mates, you don't, or maybe you do, but there must be times when you don't agree on something.
Yeah, it's true. It's just more scary because it's televised.
And it's live.
And
it's often
twisted.
Interpreted.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so then you terrifying. Look like a bitch, and in actual fact, you haven't been.
Yeah, you just have to watch the show.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's your favourite panel to have when you're on Loose Women?
Well, because I do the beginning of the week, we all seem to have our set shows. So I normally do Monday, Tuesday, and the occasional Wednesday, and it's normally a kind of same panel. So it's normally like today, it's normally Ruth, Janet, Brenda, me on one day, or Christine as an anchor. And so you do become close because you work with them the most. But I genuinely like all of them.
Yeah.
But those core ones, you get closer to because you see them every week in, week out, and go through it all with them. But I mean, every time I see Kay, because when I first started, Kay and Nadia were the main anchors. They were on every day. And so like now when I'm with Kay and that, I've known her for 24 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I am close to all of them. I think me and Ruth, me and Christine, Definitely me and Brenda and Janet. I never thought I'd be friends with Janet.
No,
she's hard.
She's a scary.
She's scary.
She's really scary.
But she's actually a bit of a pussycat underneath.
Really?
Yeah, she is.
I'm scared to get on a panel with her. She'll have me for breakfast. I know she will.
She wouldn't have you for breakfast.
Eat me up. She will.
Eat you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
She's actually a pussycat underneath it. But so yeah, I'm very, very close. They're the ones that I think if Luce finished tomorrow, I'd be friends with forever. Yeah.
That's really nice.
I'm sitting here thinking, have I left Annie out? No, because I genuinely I get on with all, like Linda Robson's so cool. She's so lovely. They all are, actually. There isn't any that I think I've
only been on it twice, but everyone's really nice.
They are.
I have even the team.
The team are great.
They're so lovely.
The team are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a really nice, contrary to what people want to believe, it's actually a really nice atmosphere. Very, very lucky. I thank God for it every day, to be honest.
It's a great show. And also, can I just say, because it's not like a 4-hour show. It's like an hour show.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Great.
4 minutes.
Although people do think that we walk in at 12:20, do an hour.
People don't know how early you have to get there. This was a shock to me.
I know, that first meeting. They go,
8.
What, you have a meeting at 8:30? And I went, yeah. And they're like, why? They don't get that. They think we go on just before 12:30 and just talk.
For people that don't know, you have one meeting and someone makes notes. Meetings. And then you have another meeting where you talk about the notes people have made and what they want you to say. You go on, you do the coming up next, whatever. Then you go in again
after the show and have
another debrief.
Yeah.
And then you have someone in your ear. This threw me off, by the way.
Someone in your ear.
We're all still talking. Grace, tell your story. I'm trying to find like an in.
No.
I'm like rocking back and forth.
Get in it. You have to get in.
Oh my God, it's so much.
Yeah. You see, I think for me, I found all of that quite easy because I've come from working with a group my whole life.
That's true.
You know, with me and my sisters. So I've just gone from being like a singing thing with my sisters, and now I'm like a talking thing with my surrogate sisters.
Yeah.
So I found that all easy, but my family thought it was hilarious that I ended up on a chat show because I never spoke when I was in the group.
Really?
Like if we were doing something like this now, me and my sisters, I wouldn't speak. And every time we finished, they'd go, will you please say something? But I always, even now when I go back home and see my sisters, family, I go back to being quiet. I go back to being the baby. Yeah, we all slot into our
It's just dynamics,
again.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Family
I think
dynamics.
It's what you've grown up with.
Yeah, that's true.
So when they're there, I'm the baby, so shut up.
That's why when you're on Loose Swim, you're like, this is my time now.
Well, how old was I? 30-odd when I went on Loose Swim. 30-odd years of not speaking. I had a lot to say.
You had a lot of missed time.
Yes.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
Your book, A Hand to Hold.
Yes.
Look at this, by the way, guys. The colour coordination. I love it.
Isn't it?
I really like it. This is the first thing I said to you. I was like, wow.
Well, considering it's a book about death, it had to look kind of attractive.
You had to look, of course.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the book.
So the book came about, I did a podcast actually, and it was about grief, the podcast. And when I was first asked to do it, I was like, oh, that sounds a right laugh.
Yeah.
But actually we did have a laugh, and I got people in, celebrities in who'd gone through grief. That was the first one, talking about grief and how you manage it. And then I did another one about funerals. Sounds awful. But it made me realise...
That wasn't Kathy Burke's one, was it?
The what?
Was it Kathy Burke's?
No.
Oh, no. She does one about funerals. Sorry, Carol.
It was mine.
Oh, it's because I went on
it. Had nothing to do with mine. Thank you. But yeah, it was actually really... And obviously I've been through a lot of grief in my life. And it was actually really, really interesting to hear people's stories of how they deal with it. And it made me realise how important, especially when it comes to funerals and things like that, how important it is to talk about. Because the one thing that we all have in common, whatever age we are, wherever we live, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, that's inevitable. And it's a horrible thought. And we all hope it's going to be when we're 100 and we go to bed and we go asleep and that's it. But, as I've learned through my life, it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah.
And when my sister Bernie passed away, because she knew that she was going to, I cannot tell you, she planned her funeral from start to finish.
Wow.
So on the day of her funeral, there was no rows, There was no stress.
Because that's what a lot of rows start over as well.
So many.
It?
I mean, families have actually never spoken to each other again after a funeral because they've had so many rows of what they think the person that they love wants.
Yeah.
I mean, Bernie had, who's going in what car.
Wow. Oh, down to the T.
Down to the T, the music, how she wanted the funeral to be, how she wanted the party to be, what food she wanted. I mean, and at first I was like, it made me sad that she'd even thought that. But on the day of the funeral, I remember thinking, oh my God, there hasn't been, or leading up to it, there hadn't been one family row of, well, I don't agree with you. I don't think she would have liked that. Because even if they didn't agree with, well, I didn't want to be in the fourth car, you couldn't argue because it was her choice. And I thought, wow, considering we all know, and hopefully it won't be for years and years and years, and even if you don't want to talk about it, write it down. It just, the whole podcast and then the book made me realize how important it is. And also a lot of people grieve and think that they're the only ones feeling like that, or they don't know how to get out of bed in the morning, and no one understands. Some people don't have family or friends to talk to. And I thought, how lovely would it be to put all of this in a book? So a lot of it's taken from the podcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expert advice in there and helplines. And I just think, at first I was like, I don't know if it's a bit of a depressing book and that. And actually it's really not. And even if it's just on your shelf for those, because it's even got, me, I'm mad about animals. Well, people grieve over animals because sometimes that is their children or their lifeline. And when they lose it, that grief is real.
Yeah.
And they're frightened of saying it to people. Or they say it to people and people go, oh, it's only a dog, get another one.
I can't stand that.
Or it's only a cat. People do that. If you're not into animals, you don't understand it. But it covers everything. Yeah. And I'm really proud of it, actually. I think it's a really nice, helpful book.
I think grief is funny as well because obviously people die in so many different ways.
Exactly. And it covers all those ways.
Yeah. And a lot of people have this thing where if it's, say, cancer or something, like because Bernie had cancer, they're like, well, you had time to process that they were going to die, but it doesn't mean that it makes it any easier when they do die.
My mum had Alzheimer's, so I grieved my mum before she died, and then when she died for a year, I didn't grieve. But then,
oh really?
Yeah, because I was relieved.
Yeah,
because I'd watched her for 5 years.
Because it's also not her towards the end anyway.
And she was traumatized by it. She had she had a different form of it.
Yeah.
And she was traumatized. And to watch the woman that's brought you up and that you love, like you say, so close to your mom, to watch her disappear, honestly, I used to go to bed myself and go, please just take her. I can't.
It's so difficult.
There was nothing I could do. So when she first died, there was an element of relief for a year, I would say. And then after that, then I'd think of her from when I was a kid, and that's when the tears. And that's the other thing about grief, there's no time. No person grieves the same. And the one thing they all had in common was guilt. Everyone suffered guilt.
Really?
Yeah. Guilt that they weren't there enough.
I've heard a lot about anger as well.
Anger.
Like you're angry that they've died.
My sister-in-law died when she was 26 and we were the same age at the time.
so young.
And she was so healthy. And she got this cold on the Monday. She was an aerobics teacher and a professional dancer. And she was teaching us choreography for a show we were doing. And on the Monday, my brother said, oh, she's not feeling well. She died on Saturday. Like that.
What?
Same age as me at the time. We were a week apart. And that was a completely different grief. And I still hold the anger for that. I was so angry.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that just didn't make sense to me.
Because it's also like your anger isn't directed at... It's hard to direct your anger in that situation.
Well, yeah, because it's like when Bernie passed away, we knew eventually that there was nothing more they could do. And it gave us time with her, loads of time, to talk about everything and to say, I love you and all of those things. With my sister-in-law, she was there 1 minute and died the next. And it was just so shocking. And like you said, and then the grief's more like anger.
Yeah.
And then who do you take that out on?
How do you feel about death? Are you scared of it or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm scared of death or how.
Yeah,
I think it's the how. I know I'm going to die. That's just silly not to think. But I think it's the unknown of how I'm going to die. And so that's the only thing that scares me. And also the fact that, I'm just not ready to. You know, when you think, I'm just not now.
Yeah.
I'm really loving life.
Yeah.
I don't want to go yet, and I don't want to leave my kids. But I've met older people, like my ex-mother-in-law. I hate saying ex because I love her to bits. She's 100 in January, by the way.
Jesus.
But when she was, I think she turned 80.
Yeah.
And she said to me then, I'm ready to go now.
It does get to a point. My
and
nan's
I've met
97,
a lot
I think.
of older people who go, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
You know, life's not the same. I've done everything. Brilliant life. I'm ready to go. And in some ways, that kind of, I mean, I was angry at her because I was like, don't say that. But then I walked away and thought, oh, that actually brings me hope that maybe
it's kind
when
of
you
a blessing.
get to an age, you go,
you've lived
done.
your life that
I'm
full
done
that
now.
then you're ready.
Yeah. Especially if it affects your quality of life, I think.
So in your book, do you mention cancer?
Yeah.
Did that make it harder or easier for you to write about in the book when it came to your experiences?
I think because, you know me, I'm gobby cow, aren't I? So I've spoken about, Bernie loads and my sister-in-law in the past, a lot of it in autobiographies. I did 2 autobiographies and it was all in there. Yeah, I mean, it's quite cathartic in some ways. It doesn't sound in a nice way. The only thing I found difficult in there, the only chapter I found difficult was child loss, because I can't imagine it.
I don't think anyone.
What was amazing was the women that I spoke to who'd gone through it and how they'd got through it. And again, for anyone that then, God forbid that ever happens to me, but that would be a great thing to read because you're reading of people that have gone through it.
Something there for literally everyone.
Yeah, but that was the only, I did the audio version. And when I was reading that chapter out, oh God, that was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. But yeah, I mean, it sounds depressing, but even when I did the podcast, we were laughing. When we were talking about what funerals we wanted, we were crying, laughing.
Discussing with people on the podcast about stuff like that. It was
funny.
It was funny, yeah.
And I had Jake Quickenden on.
Yeah.
And me and him were crying, laughing, because he says, listen, he's tragically lost his brother and his dad. And he cries. I mean, he cried a lot as well, which is heartbreaking. But then he goes, having said that, if it gets me a TV show, I'll keep mentioning them. He kind of has to, because if you can't laugh as well.
Yeah.
With my mum with Alzheimer's, tragic, but some of it was hilarious.
Yeah, of course. I think some people are scared to laugh, though, aren't they? About
they feel guilty about laughing.
Yeah.
I laughed when my dad passed away and we were with him, and my mum got the priest in. And every time the priest mentioned a saint, we had to say, pray for him. Well, me and my brother didn't realise how many saints there were. And this went on for about half an hour. And all of a sudden, my brother whispered
by
to
the
me,
end of it, yeah.
My brother whispered, does he know he gets buried Wednesday? And my other brother's glaring at me. But me and my brother, I was like, stop it. Because I was hysterical.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have to, because it gets you through.
Yeah.
And you know what? You got to think, if my dad was actually alive now, he'd laugh at it as well. He'd go, would you shut up?
What was the listeners' reaction to your podcast?
Amazing.
Did they find comfort in it? Or?
Loads of them found it comforting, because a lot of them, like you said, you have this guilt if you laugh.
Yeah.
Or you have this guilt if you go back to work a week after, because you think people are thinking, well, how can you go back to work? You've just lost, your husband or your wife or whatever. And there was just this element of grief with everybody. And it's obviously a running thing with everybody, because a lot of people then were getting in touch saying, I feel so much better because I've lived with this guilt for so long, or did I do the right thing? And there is no right or wrong way for somebody to grieve. And I truly believe that 2 people don't grieve the same.
Yeah.
And you have to get through it. I actually wanted to call the book Death and How to Live It. Because I thought, it was actually my other half's idea. I'm not going to take this.
You don't need to say that. That's fine.
Yeah, we can just edit that
of course.
bit.
Yeah, it was your idea.
It's all my idea.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good title, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're learning to live with it, because you have to.
Yeah.
And maybe you have to live it in a different form or a different way. But I believe I have to see the humour in things, otherwise there's just no point.
Yeah.
100.
It's so much. It makes everything a little bit more
terrible.
to cope with.
When it's something tragic. And I believe, there is a time and a place, and, maybe not.
Maybe not at the wake.
Yeah, maybe not at the wake instantly, although my brother did. Yeah. but that was just between me and him. If he'd have said that out loud, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, I remember Bernie saying to me, and that's what got me out of bed. Before she died, she said, right, I want you to cry a lot for 2 weeks because I deserve it.
Yeah.
And then she said, and then after 2 weeks, I want you to get off your fat, lazy arse and carry on.
Yeah.
Because no matter crying is going to bring me back.
Yeah.
And the days when I was struggling, I heard her say it. I could hear her going, get off your fat, lazy arse.
And do you think it does get better when it comes to grief with time? Or is it something you just learn to cope with?
I do believe time's a great healer, but I think I don't think you forget. I just think you learn how to live with.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that stone that you feel you're carrying around your neck just gets a bit lighter each time. And you don't throw the stone away, but you learn to carry it in a nicer way. And,
of course.
Memories now are lovely memories. I don't like thinking of Bernie on her deathbed. I like thinking of Bernie when we were kids growing up. Bernie was the one when we were doing all our hit record. Well, she was the lead singer and she just lived for it. And the year before, 3 years before she died, but a year before she got diagnosed, we did our big reunion tour in 2009, and we hadn't worked together for like 25 years.
Wow.
And it nearly didn't happen, and it did. And actually, that was the best moment of my life because we toured over here like we had never toured. We did arenas.
But you were so glad that
dancers,
happened.
And it was just fabulous.
Yeah.
And we were going to do it the following year again, and then Bernie got diagnosed. So if we'd have just waited another year, we'd never have got to do it.
Yeah.
And Bernie lived for it.
Yeah.
So I actually watched that tour the other night, which sounds, I made a friend of mine sit and watch it.
Stay. Yeah.
Have you seen our tour from 2000? No, you haven't. Okay.
Let me put it on.
A cup of tea, get yourself comfy.
I think this book is amazing though, because whoever you are,
I hope
all of us will go through grief at some point.
And you know what it's good for as well? If you've got a friend going through it.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's not a bad little present to give them. And it also teaches you what to say.
See, that's where I go wrong.
Well, because I've had people, like my sister Linda, when her husband died, 2 of her friends who she'd known years crossed the street because they didn't know what to say to her.
Because you don't want to say the wrong thing, but then saying nothing at all is arguably worse. Yeah.
So it covers all of that in there as well, about knowing what to say and that no one will be offended.
Yeah.
And, because sometimes I always get embarrassed going, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What's the worst thing you think you can say to someone that's just lost? Nothing, that's it, yeah.
Nothing, because then you both feel awkward.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, I remember one time someone came up to me and said, I'm sorry about your sister. And I went, it's okay, it wasn't your fault. Because I thought, sorry seems why are you apologising?
Yeah.
But again, you see, I have to do it with humour because then we both laughed and then it was done. But yeah, my sister Linda, she was saying she would rather someone, even if they came home and didn't cross the road and just came and gave her a hug, or thinking of you, or we're here if you need us, is better than just going, I don't know. And it is embarrassing to know what to say, and you are terrified of saying the wrong thing, but there is no wrong thing.
Yeah. Where can we get your book?
You can get my book in all good bookshops.
Come on.
It's actually, you can pre-order it now on Amazon.
Lovely.
And it's actually out on the 29th of August. See, I glanced over there just to... I don't want you to think for 1 minute there's anyone standing there.
We're in an empty room, actually.
Holding the book up. Yeah. 29th, it's official.
Stunning.
Official out. But you can pre-order
Go and get
it now.
the book.
Please.
Or you'll have smelly breath for the next 40 years.
Well, they might have that already.
They might already have that, yeah. I like to end the pod with one question.
Go on.
If you had any advice to save Grace, that's me, what advice would you give?
To save you?
Yeah. And I know there's not a lot, but...
How would I save Grace? Well, I think I'd probably take a miracle. If you believe in miracles, there's hope for you, yeah?
Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And don't insult the Saturdays.
I would never do it again.
Now when you come on, you can insult the Nolans. It's fine.
That's what I'm going to do
We
now.
can have a laugh.
Because you've had your way with me here. I'm going to have my way with you there.
Oh, sounds good.
Guys, it's been Coleen Nolan. Pre-order the book or, again, have smelly breath. If you've been watching, like and subscribe. And if you've been listening, give it a follow and a 5-star review.